viewers, welcome to smartmoneygold.in. I am Paranidharan. So in this video we are going to see about what are the steps you need to take once you pay off your home loan. So just paying off your home loan is not the end of the story. You need to pay your home loan and then take it to completion so that you don't face issues with your home at a later date. Come on, let's go check out what we should do. Okay, so the most important thing is that after paying a home loan, we all think that our responsibilities are over, we don't need to do anything further, and the house is on our name. It's not actually the case. The main thing which you need to do after doing your after paying off all your home loan EMIs is that you need to visit your bank or the housing finance company from which you bought the loan. Many of us do that, and after paying off all the loans, they usually return the papers. But there are certain steps and certain things to note when you do all these procedures. Okay, the first thing, get back all the original documents in the same shape that you give it back to them. So for this, the first important thing is like you should have taken a photocopy of all the documents and the list which you have given to your housing finance company or to the bank from which you bought the loan. So once you have this document and the photocopies, when you are getting back all the documents after paying off all your home loan EMIs, just check if all these documents are the same ones which you are provided. I have seen cases where somebody else's document has been given to this home loan owner and they didn't bother to check that document and signed off an acknowledgement, and later they had troubles when they went back to rectify this with the banking officers. Okay, and the most important thing is that check the last page of the document. Say you have your title deed or the mother document which you have submitted to the bank. When getting back, make sure that all the pages are intact. Many a times you see that some of the middle pages are torn or the last page is missing. So if the last page of your document is missing, it's a big hurdle and procedure to get all that back and to sell your house. Sometimes you may not even be able to rectify that, which will cause problems when you are selling the house. Say for example, if I am buying a house, if 1 or 2 pages from the document is missing, I will be very hesitant to buy the property from that particular seller. Okay, so that is the first thing. Second thing, make sure they are intact. Don't accept it from the bank officer or don't sign the acknowledgement slip if you see that there has been some water spillage, if there has been some insect, eating away your papers. So there have been instances where all these things have happened in the past and they will happen in the future. So make sure that all your documents are intact and in proper position and in proper shape before signing off your acknowledgement slip. Okay, so once you have done that, the second step after when you're closing the home loan is to obtain a no objection certificate or NOC. An NOC is usually given to you from the bank stating that you have paid off all your home loans, all your interest outstanding, and that you don't owe anything to the bank anymore, and they will not come back asking you for more money at some later date. So if you don't have this NOC, and say for example you have some small amount which is pending on the home loan for whatsoever reason, you can be fined, and there can be more interest which can be added to this amount, which can, if unnoticed for a few years, can become a big amount. So it is always advisable that you get the NOC signed from the bank or from the housing finance company before closing the loan. There are few steps to check, few points when you are closing the housing loan and getting the NOC. So the NOC must clearly list the name of the borrower, that is your name, and it should state like when the home loan was started and when was the last date of paying the loan. If possible, some banks do give the repayment schedule as an attachment and some banks don't, so you can't insist on this, but it never hurts to ask your bank whether they have a repayment schedule which they could provide as an attachment in the NOC certificate. Okay, next, the NOC must list the home loan account number of your home loan. The account number should clearly be mentioned on the NOC certificate. Okay, the next thing which is, and also an important thing, is that the clause at the bottom of the NOC should clearly mention that you have paid off all the dues including the principal and the interest, and that you don't owe anything to the bank anymore. So make sure you have this clause clearly printed at the last part. Usually it's the last but one paragraph or something when you get the NOC certificate. Do look out for this clause in the NOC certificate. Okay, the third step is removal of lien of property. So a lien is usually created when the bank or the institution which lends you money think that you may default it at a later date, or you may try to sell it to somebody else without, even though they have the original documents. So what they do is they create a lien on the property in the local sub registrar office. So this prevents you from selling the property or mortgaging it to somebody else without us or an outside lender without any intimation to the bank. So after you have paid off all your EMIs and all your interest and you're about to close the loan, before that, inquire with the sub-registrar office if there is any lien created on your property. And this sub-registrar office should be within the jurisdiction of where your property or house is located. You can't go to a sub-registrar office at some other district and be inquiring for this. It has to be within your jurisdiction. Okay. Now, after checking that, if you find that there is some lien on your property, when you are closing out the loan, do request the bank before getting the acknowledgement to remove the lien. A bank officer, usually they'll do it on their own, or in most cases they will accompany you to the sub-registrar office and have this lien removed. It's a simple procedure. It usually takes maximum of 30 minutes if all the parties are cooperating, which is a difficult thing in India. But still, once you are done that, the property lien will be removed, which will enable you to sell the property at a later date or mortgage it to some other financial institution if there is a need. Okay. The fourth important thing is updation of your CIBIL score. The banks and all financial institutions are very quick to update in case you default on some of your EMIs. Say for example, you're not able to pay your EMI for 4 months, they'll be very quickly downgrading you in the CIBIL score. They'll submit. CIBIL is nothing but a institution which maintains your credit score, where all the financial institutions pool your data and say that this person is worthy of giving a loan or not. He has so much loan outstanding, he has so much repaying capacity, he has a salary of say 1 lakh and he already has EMIs of 50,000. So that means like you can't lend him more money to borrow. So all this data is stored and the CIBIL comes up with a score for you. So this score will get affected if in the past you have not paid some of your EMI amounts. So the banks will be quickly updating all this data to the CIBIL company which will affect your credit score. But if you pay back all this and when you are closing the loan, they are not that eager to rectify or correct this mistake at the later date. So make sure that you request the bank to update your CIBIL score. You can get your CIBIL score document individually from CIBIL by submitting a request. Once again after the CIBIL score update, the next important thing is like find out a proper good lawyer and get your legal opinion. A legal opinion will be very useful, and especially if it's from a reputed lawyer, to sell your property at a later date without any issues. A legal opinion is a good add-on to your list of documents, which leads us to the next point, where maintain all your repayment schedule and the documentation and the photocopies of that. So I suppose you got a bonus, or suppose you got some inheritance from your mom or dad and you would have paid 10 lakhs as prepayment in between to the housing bank company. Make sure you take a photocopy of the check. Make sure you maintain the bank transaction statement for all this in a separate file. And when you get your legal opinion, just add that to this, in addition to all the original documents you will get from the bank. So the next thing which is very important is getting an encumbrance certificate. An encumbrance certificate is obtained from your sub-registrar office, which says who has had ownership over these properties, or what are the ramifications, or like I said, lien or some mortgages which this property has gone through. If it will have a list of transactions of who owned these properties. For example, I borrowed it from A and A bought this property from B. So all these transactions over the past years will be recorded in the encumbrance certificate. It is always advisable to get at least a 13-year encumbrance certificate from predating from today. So that means like now if we are in 2019, so get it at least for 13 years, say for example 2006 or 2005, whatever is available with the sub-registrar office. They usually have a pretty long record. Okay, so get your encumbrance certificate properly and add it to your list of documents. So guys, I think this will be very useful to you. These are the main things which you need to consider when you're before closing your home loan, I mean after you closing your home loan, to ensure that the property comes to you and stays safe with you and you have cleared all the legal issues with that. So I hope this video was useful. Just check out the blog post below. We have given a description of all the items that we have discussed today on the video. Please do consider following us on YouTube. Click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell icon so that the next video when we post, you will get notified to watch that. Do consider following us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Until I see you next time with another useful video, take care. I'm Parani. Bye. Thanks for watching.